man's opinion. Today I am reviewing the Broadway revival of William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, directed by Sam Gold, running through February 16th at Strickland Square at 1633 Broadway in New York City. With love's light wings, fly to my Patreon page where you can, for as little as $1 a month, support my channel and my classic cinema podcast, Yesterday's Matinee, where the latest episode on George A. Romero's classic Night of the Living Dead is currently available for patrons only. There is also exclusive content like retro reviews, polls, and other occasional bits of fun. Thank you to my current patrons, especially my Neo and Hamilton tier patrons, and welcome to the new ones. I'm a person of two minds when it comes to the reworking of classics, whether it be Thornton Wilder's Our Town, for example, since I just reviewed that, or here with William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. On one hand, there needs to be a reverence to the material, but on the other, also the ability to make the play more palatable to an audience that would find the material archaic or inaccessible. Where the line is drawn is going to be different for each person. There are those who feel classics should not be modified any more than necessary. Others feel that art, like theater, should be open for interpretation and variation. I think most of us, me included, reside somewhere in between. As a critic, though, I am obligated to do my best to see things from as many perspectives as possible and try to see who would most likely enjoy a show, even though I may have mixed feelings about it. Such is the case with Sam Gold's production of Romeo and Juliet. Though I found the production way too focused on the hypersexualized and overly impulsive nature of youth, I can't help but acknowledge that the youth and young adults of today will be mesmerized by the production, and if this production successfully introduces a new generation of people to William Shakespeare, I'm willing to swallow my pride and recognize the merits of the production for the audience it is geared toward. I need look no further than the two young ladies who were sitting front row spellbound by the entire 2+ hours of this production. Having two Gen Z stars in Kit Connor and Rachel Zegler as the two titular star-crossed lovers doesn't hurt drawing in a young audience either. Gold's production focuses heavily on the impulsiveness of youth. The play opens with what is a group of youth carousing and practically on their way to an orgy when Gabby Beans shows up and recites the opening monologue as the chorus. The play quickly turns bloody as members of the Capulets and Montagues battle, and there's plenty of blood to go around, so for those of you in the front row, don't be surprised if you end up in a splash zone and get a few drops on you. The eroticism and violence teeters on gratuitous, and I wouldn't be surprised if audience members, especially the older members, find it a bit repulsive and unnecessary. Granted, I think Drew Leary's direction of the violence is some of the best fight choreography I've seen in a long time. But there are also bits of odd dissonance as two actors who are fighting in one fight sequence inexplicably start making out before fighting again. Elements like these take me out of the play and, in my opinion, deviates from the theme that the divisions of previous generations ultimately cause suffering and destruction on the youth, with Romeo and Juliet being the sacrificial lambs that ultimately bring peace. That's not a spoiler. The chorus says as much in the play's prologue. This is ultimately why I feel Gold's production deviates too far from the source material. It is so set on focusing on the youth that it downplays and neglects the reason for the conflict in the first place. Romeo's parents are completely excised from the production, while Juliet's are combined to be played by one actor in Sola Fatarin. Fatarin's performance is fine as both, and the Montagues are only in a handful of scenes, but diminishing the roles of the parents diminishes the theme of fate within the play, and the burden of responsibility that befalls upon adults for their sins that led to their children's war. Connor and Zegler are dynamic as the two lovers. Connor has such an endearing boyish charm that it's easy to forget that he is pining over a completely different girl at the beginning of the play. Zegler, who essentially played the same role about 3 years ago as Maria in Steven Spielberg's film adaptation of West Side Story, is coming into her own as a talented actress and does well. The two's balcony scene is full of brilliant love and vision and hope Shakespeare's dialogue calls for. Other exceptional performances include Gabby Beans' Mercutio, which is one of my favorite roles in all of Shakespeare, and she plays it with all the proper bravado needed. Then there's Tommy Dorfman, who also plays Tybalt, but her performance as the nurse is the better performance of the two, which has a biting sense of propriety mixed with sentimentalism for Juliet. There are also some musical elements in the production written by Jack Antonoff. It's okay, though I think it does a great job of adding atmosphere and color to the scenes. The songs, sung by some cast members, feel excessive. Dot's scenic design is both hit and miss. I love the opening of the stage to reveal the garden outside Juliet's balcony, and I like the use of the whole theater from the floor to the catwalks to tell the story. The descending bed of Juliet is also a nice touch, but the giant teddy bears feel a bit excessive. I have many problems with this production, and I suspect many others will too. Still, I can't help but remember the two young ladies watching the play with awestruck wonder. And if this production's 20-week run nets Shakespeare fans like them, how can I argue with that? But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see Romeo and Juliet, I'll leave a link in the description where you can get tickets. Also in the description will be links to my Patreon page, my Spotify page, and my social media. Visit those if you'd like to support my work. You can also support me by liking and sharing this video, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be the Broadway revival of Sunset Boulevard. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.